apartheid. Our guest in studio today, Munna Al-Kurd, hosted by Friends of Al-Mizan, was born in Sheikh Jarrah in occupied East Jerusalem. Together with her brother Muhammad, if you don't know yet, they were voted amongst Time magazine's 100 most influential young people in the world for 2021. This was due to their activism surrounding what was happening in Sheikh Jarrah, forced removals, something we know well about in South Africa, and via social media, via the hashtag Save Sheikh Jarrah, they made a huge splash on the world stage in making people aware and giving them a window into life under Israeli occupation. But enough of that. Warm welcome to our guest in studio today, Munna Al-Kurd. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having us.
You're going to just talk to us very briefly in English, and then Abdullah Grifat from Al-Mizan is going to do some translations. But first of all, a warm welcome to Cape Town. I believe it's your second visit to South Africa, first to Cape Town.
Yes, thank you.
My first question, and you can decide whether to do it in English or not, no problem. Your house, 2009, was occupied by Israeli settlers, half your house in Sheikh Jarrah. And Sheikh Jarrah is a neighborhood just outside the old city.
Yeah.
What is it like having unwelcome guests in your house? I can't get my head around it.
It's a very good question and hard question also, because a lot of people ask me that, like always, and I always answer them with, you imagine living in your own house, and one day someone, stranger, come to your house and then knock on the door and tell you should evict the half of the house, the other house. How would you feel?
I think that's a sufficient answer. How would you feel exactly?
It's very hard. It's very hard because, like, the settler that is now living in my house is American. Mm-hmm. Is the Israeli American that came like yesterday from America,
yeah,
leaving his own house there to live in my house without any legal situation. So it's all about politics here in Jerusalem.
No, absolutely. Now, in last year, we saw things getting hot in Sheikh Jarrah. I think I can describe it that way, when your house and other houses were now under threat, where Israeli settlers, where the Zionists were now pushing very hard to get Palestinians out of those houses. Just to give some background about the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood, it belongs to you, doesn't it? You've got the papers to prove that you own the house.
Actually, the neighborhood was built in 1956 when the Jordanian government and the UNRWA decided to give 28 families, refugees families, houses in Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood. And with the agreement with the Jordanian government, they told us in that time that they, after 3 years of living in the houses, they will give us the documents, the ownership of the land and the houses. But unfortunately, the Jordanian government didn't give us any papers. And although the settlers also don't have any papers, so it's all about like illegal situation in Sheikh Jarrah. They want to take 28 families, all the land of Sheikh Jarrah, and not only Sheikh Jarrah. It's all about like every neighborhood in Jerusalem, Silwan, Ras Al Amud, Wadi Al Joz, all these neighborhoods. The Israeli settlers organizations, they want to take all this land to make what they call the capital, the big Jerusalem. I don't know how big Jerusalem, that they claim that they own the land of it.
Just to clarify what you're saying, everything that has happened to you and everything that has happened to your parents and your grandparents and your grandparents or grandparents is against international law, because East Jerusalem is illegally occupied. It's not you saying it, it's not me saying it, it's the United Nations and international legal platform saying this occupation must stop. It is illegal, and it's been illegal since 1967.
Yes, of course. Yani, this is what people need to know. It's illegal situation, especially in Jerusalem, and it's not only about me, my family. It's about 500 people that are like threatened to be forced removed from their houses, and not about in Sheikh Jarrah. It's in
everywhere.
It's in all Jerusalem and in all Palestine.
Yeah, I mean, there is a policy, isn't it? It's called Judaizing Jerusalem. I used to visit your country very regularly, and I can say with confidence that over a period of 20 years, I saw the Arab-Palestinian space shrinking in Jerusalem to a scary stage where it's impossible right now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's impossible for Palestinians to build anywhere in East Jerusalem. You just simply cannot.
Yes, we can't. Like I can tell you like briefly our story, my family story. That when they took the house, my grandmother, when she took the house in 1956, my father, like after many years, when he decided to be married and then like have children.
Yes, that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. He decided to build another room beside my grandmother's house, and he asked for permission twice, but the Israeli municipality
Yes.
didn't give him any permission to build, so he built it anyway. Then the Israeli court decided to close the doors of the house because it is without permission. But after 9 years of closing the house, part of the house, they decided to give it to the settlers. So settlers, the Israeli Jewish settlers, is allowed to live in like a house without permission, but us Palestinians that own the house won't allow us to live in it. So less than 3% is the number that the Israeli government only gave the Palestinians to live to build houses in Jerusalem. So it is impossible. It is.
Now, there's something that I always insist. Every single Palestinian comes from somewhere. Now, your surname's El Kurd. It tells me that your family could most likely have been in Palestine since the 12th century, after the time of the Crusades, when the Ayyubids, when the general of Salahuddin Ayyubi, he settled there. Kirkush, I think was his name. I might have it wrong.
Salahuddin Ayyubi, Muhammad al-Kurd.
Yeah, but it was one of his generals, or even or brother or something. He settled in Palestine, and it's historically recorded. So you have been on the land for at least 7 to 8 centuries.
Yes. So we are the owners of the land. Palestine has always been Palestine, and inshallah it will be like very soon. Like it will liberate, and it will be free very soon, bismillah Allah.
Now, one thing that is becoming interesting is that the Palestinian struggle is beginning to change. That's obvious. Younger people are coming to the fore, but they are playing a different game. It's no longer the old-fashioned intifada. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're seeing a sophistication in social media. We're seeing eloquent people like yourself. We've seen what Ahid Tamimi has done, and so many others, all young people. Has the Palestinian struggle now become a struggle for the youth?
I can say yes, because I think that we youth, Palestinian youth, are far away from diplomatic words.
Indeed.
We start to name the things how it is. We stop saying eviction. We're now saying forced removal, and we're saying it is apartheid. It is a war crime that need to stop. And actually, I think that we use the social media in a very clever way. We know our demands. we know from whom to ask it, and we have like a lot of this knowledge that what is يعني when I defend my house I need to know what is the history about it and about all Jerusalem, so we know the knowledge, the all information that we should know about the area, all Palestine. So this new strategies, and that we always say that we don't believe in the illegal courts, Israeli courts. We now believe in the movement on the ground. We should like act more, do more, because we don't believe in these illegal courts, because all the قوانين بسرعة all the laws is was put to help the settlers and the settlers organizations, not to help me as a Palestinian.
Yeah, sometimes the illegality of apartheid is actually the way that it uses laws. And in South Africa, just to work as a journalist, we had more than 100 laws governing how we could work as journalists. And I know you understand when I say that. I mean, just to be a Palestinian, there are hundreds of laws as well. To be a Palestinian, I mean, every single day of your life, you're under occupation, you're under oppression, and you're reminded all the time by the settlers and by the Israelis that they don't want you there. It must be terrible.
It is. يعني all people need to know that we are under occupation, and it's very hard. It's not easy. Like you can see, like in the last months, everyone in the world could see what is happening on the ground, the attacks from the settlers and the Israeli soldiers was like horrible. The arresting, the attacking from like all parts of this illegal state. It was very terrifying, and يعني every time anyone, any child, any man, any girl went to jail, it like all the laws are there to put them more years and years in jails, not to free them. And you can imagine this for like every law in this apartheid state.
Yeah, and in fact, I mean, we remind Palestinians as South Africans that your apartheid is 100 times worse than ours, and we didn't enjoy it either as South Africans, believe you me. When it comes to the authorities, one thing that always disturbs us is when we see Israeli soldiers catching children. It's disgusting, and it's against international law again. How on earth do you deal with it? I mean, you yourself have been taken and interrogated. How do you deal with interrogation when people are going to be bad to you, they're going to be hostile to you? How do you deal with that?
I think I can say that we have the bravery to face them, because I think يعني I can like speak about myself. When they arrested me, I was very calm, because I know that I didn't do anything wrong. I was only defending my house, my land, my trees, my neighbors' houses. So I think we handle it with like a very calm way, but it is very hard, especially for children, to be arrested almost all the time. All the prisoners or the ones that have been arrested is under 16 years old, so it is very hard to them. They always like make us pay like a lot of money to like make the children go out of jail, to release the children's. So it is very hard, but I think that bravery, and we have the power to face them, because all of us know that we don't do anything, only defending our houses, only saying what is really happening, and show the world that this is against the law and this is a war crimes that should be ended.
Yeah, you are not a criminal, and that's the bottom line.
Of course.
There's something else that I need to ask you. The very first time I went to Palestine, one thing struck me, and that was I came back thinking that Israel is the most scared country in the world. All the security.
Yeah.
I mean, I come to the airport and they tear my suitcase open, and I'm thinking, but Shafiq, I'm nobody. And they think that I'm going to be a threat to the whole country. They're very scared, aren't they? I mean, do you think the rest of the world needs to know how afraid these people are?
They are very, very afraid. I think that this is because they know, like from the bottom of their hearts, that they are settlers. They occupy the land that did not belong to them. So I think everyone should know. That's why we're not scared of them. So they are very afraid with all their guns and bombs and all the security that they have. We are not scared of them, and they are very afraid. They always like you can see the pictures. Always one little child with like 15 soldiers holding him. And you can see this whole picture.
Yes, there's a very funny scene in social media where somebody took away a soldier's gun and threw it on the ground. And I think the soldier, he was so scared, he almost wet himself, he was so scared. It was actually funny and tragic at the same time. But again, it backs up the point, as you're saying, how scared these people are. We're going to be going in for some news headlines. Muna, we're going to take a quick break. Our guest today is Muna Al-Kurd. She's been rated by Time magazine as the top 100 of the youth. And of course, if you go to hashtag Sheikh Jarrah, she was one of the activists in trying to defend this neighborhood that is currently under siege. Remember, this neighborhood, it belongs to Palestinians. It doesn't belong to settlers who are illegally trying to take over the houses. And here we use the word forced removals and not eviction. Eviction makes it sound legal. Forced removals is what it is. We know about it in South Africa. But let's cross for the 5:30 headlines. We're back with Muna Al-Kurd after this.
Drive Time 91.3. Always on the cutting edge.